Yeah, nah, he nice as hell, but you know, I'm at the point in my career, the money right, I'll fight anybody. So
I can retire right now and be in the Hall of Fame. He couldn't. You know, like everything that I've accomplished, he's still trying to accomplish. You know,
Do you not think Spence will be in the Hall of Fame?
right now, no, how?
Yeah, he's
And
right, dude. He's right.
How? You know,
You would
like
be-
he fought in one division. You know,
Never unified the belts.
He unified.
Did you?
Errol Spence Jr. has responded to Terence Crawford after Crawford claimed their rematch would be an easy money fight. The two rivals have been engaged in an intense back-and-forth, especially after Crawford made a controversial statement questioning Spence's Hall of Fame status. His remarks sparked widespread debate, with several boxing professionals weighing in. While some corrected what they saw as an inaccurate claim, others trolled Crawford or criticized his own resume, arguing that it wasn't particularly impressive either.
Unified.
Did you?
You know,
IBF.
he unified.
Was it?
He had three. He had the
Yeah, but he didn't
WBC,
unify all four.
WBA,
He wasn't
IBF.
undisputed.
Huh?
He
No,
wasn't
no,
undisputed.
he wasn't. No, but what I'm saying is, they already called him a weight bully, right? He beat Kell Brook coming off of a loss, an eye injury. You know, he beat Sean Porter.
In all fairness, he had to go over there to get that.
Taking matters into his own hands, Errol Spence Jr. called out Terence Crawford and challenged him to a rematch. Only time will tell what the future holds for these two fighters. I honestly don't know if he makes it to the Hall of Fame, with the accolades that he didn't get right now, said Terence Crawford, boxing's first two-division undisputed male champion, referring to Spence, the very man who made Crawford's second undisputed title possible. Unsurprisingly, Crawford's comment has sparked a heated debate on social media. Many fans and analysts have pushed back, arguing that Spence's accomplishments are more than worthy of Hall of Fame recognition.
I said, you know what I mean? That's a good win. Like, I don't want to sound like I'm hating on him or, you know,
I understand
things like that, but
Right.
I honestly don't know if he make it to the Hall of Fame with the accolade.
Crawford may believe otherwise, but the real question remains, does Errol Spence Jr. truly fall short of Hall of Fame status? Since his loss to Crawford, Spence has remained inactive, with injuries further delaying his return and fueling speculation about retirement. A potential fight with Sebastian Fundora briefly raised hopes for his comeback, but it ultimately fell through. So let's break down why Crawford's assessment may be flawed. To Crawford's credit, he clarified that his stance on Spence isn't rooted in personal animosity. In fact, he described himself as a fan. Asterisk, I'm a Spence fan. Like when we build up, I'm like, man, hey, let me get your autograph. Asterisk, Crawford said.
Obviously, you're a guy that always wanted to like fight the best people out there. You know, even if you're on a layup, always want to fight the best guys. We got a guy in Jerron Ennis right now who's killing everybody. You know, Floyd is praising him, Roy Jones, everybody really. Like, would a part of you, and not looking past Terrence, but would a part of you be like, yo, this kid is good, I gotta fight this kid?
Yet, Crawford argued that once they became competitors in the same division, people began downplaying his accomplishments to elevate Spence's. He rejected this narrative, insisting that his own resume is Hall of Fame worthy, while Spence is still working toward that level. Crawford's first argument against Spence is that he has only fought in one weight division and was never undisputed. While true, this argument overlooks Spence's background. Spence competed as a welterweight throughout his amateur career, excelling at the Golden Gloves and World Championships before turning pro. Expecting him to debut in a different weight class wouldn't have made sense.
I'm walking over my feet. You know, I want to get out the game. I got kids, got a mom and dad, and you know, they want to enjoy me. So.
Once Spence entered the pro ranks, he remained undefeated for 5 years before claiming his first world title in 2017, defeating Kell Brook on his home turf in Sheffield, England. That victory marked the beginning of a dominant reign, during which he outclassed elite opponents like Mikey Garcia, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, and Yordenis Ugazan, Olympic bronze medalist, on his way to becoming a unified champion. What many seem to overlook is that Spence achieved these milestones while battling significant adversity, including multiple car accidents, one of which occurred just months before his fight with Crawford. Ugas, who suffered severe eye swelling in his bout against Spence, even defended him against Crawford's remarks, saying, asterisk, he practically came back from death and eye surgery to become a 3-time champion.
You know, everything got to come to the end, and you know, sadly, this definitely got to come to the end. So I'm definitely gonna get out while I still can, and not either be forced out or I have to keep fighting because I need money.
had one more belt though.
He probably won't let Jose Benavidez. So what do you think, Sid?
Well, what is Spence's best victory for you?
Probably Gamboa.
Why do you say that?
Because I can't thank anybody else.
Did you say Postal? Was you say Postal?
Gamboa.
No. Gamboa. Recently, was there?
Crawford also downplayed Spence's championship status, arguing that while he unified titles, he never became undisputed. He further suggested that Spence's win over Brook was less impressive because Brook was coming off an eye injury, and a loss, while undisputed status, is a remarkable achievement. It was Spence's dominance that made Crawford's undisputed title possible. If Spence had held only one belt instead of multiple, would Crawford have even pursued the fight? It was Spence's reign that elevated their clash into one of boxing's greatest modern showdowns.
Is there ever a possibility where you would rematch Errol Spence? Or is he in a position where he needs to win again before that makes sense for you?
The possibility is there.
Regarding Brook's condition, it's worth noting that he moved up to fight Gennady Golovkin at middleweight before dropping back down to face Spence just 8 months later, fully aware of the challenge he was taking on. Despite that, Brook later went on to win the WBC Silverlight middleweight title. Crawford's final argument seems to suggest that Spence didn't face the toughest competition, but the reality is that Spence fought the best available challengers at welterweight. Yes, Crawford moved across multiple weight classes, but in doing so, he also avoided certain divisional threats.
For his title, I'm fighting for a title, and there's a possibility. He win his fight, God willing. I win my fight, God willing, and there's a possibility right there.
For example, Crawford never fought Jermall Charlo at welterweight, and a potential bout with Virgil Ortiz Jr. remains purely hypothetical. WBC lightweight champion Shocker Stevenson and 2-weight undisputed champion Terence Crawford have been longtime friends, often seen supporting each other both inside and outside the ring. However, there's one thing these brothers from different mothers can't seem to agree on: the whole Errol Spence Jr. Hall of Fame debate that Crawford stirred up recently. If you haven't been keeping up with boxing, Crawford recently appeared on the Pound for Pound podcast with Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo, where he made some controversial comments about his former rival, Errol Spence Jr. According to Crawford, Spence doesn't stand a chance of being inducted into the Boxing Hall of Fame. Crawford points to his own accolades as a reason for this stance.